Oh. That's how it affected us. We became sea otters. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Again, I ended up making it to Virginia, which is excellent because I thought I wasn't going to because of the stupid snow. Recently, I discovered something called an anxiety tag. So I decided to take anxiety and depression and mash them together. There you will have the anxiety/depression tag. That's not it. Instead of doing this by myself, I brought in a special guest. Her name is Caterpie. Yes, like the Pokemon. When did you first experience anxiety/depression?
Never really had a problem with anxiety up until a couple years ago, but as far as depression, I would say since I was about like 11.
I experienced it in high school when I was about 16 years old. Been with me ever since. What are some of your triggers?
If something upsets me bad enough, it will trigger like everything that I've ever felt bad about. I can feel bad about things that happened 5 years ago and it'll hit me all at once.
For me, it's basically everything. It could be food, it could be airplanes. Like if I hear you breathing a certain way and I'm like, oh man, now I'm conscious of my breathing and now I'm gonna have a panic attack. Fucking jerk! What does anxiety/depression feel like?
I started having anxiety not too long ago. It feels like everything's moving at a fast pace, and in depression, everything engulfs you pretty much. Like it lives with you every day. You can feel it living in there, in your bones.
When I had my problems with depression, like I lost my will to live, and I think a lot of people that are depressed do that. But even me, as a very anxious person, I kind of get through those stages where I'm like, I don't even want to live anymore. Anxiety for me, it feels like you're dying, but there's different levels of it. There's like the first level, which is like I'm panicking a little bit, but I'm okay, and then there's level 10 where I'm blacked out. What are some of your coping mechanisms?
This is gonna be a hard one, but one of my coping mechanisms is I self-harm.
I had to stop smiling, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna say this has been a year, so I've been sober for a year. Actually, a couple weeks ago, it's been a year.
I'm proud of you. I'm very proud of you. High fivesies. That's a big accomplishment. You just hit me in the face. Now you're self-harming me.
There we go, the better.
I really don't have any. I mean, like, I have anxiety attacks, and I just kind of, like, force myself into not dealing with it, I guess. I try to find a way to forget about my anxiety. So I focus my attention elsewhere other than the anxiety. What are some misconceptions about anxiety/depression that you would like to clear up?
Anxiety and depression go hand in hand. They say pretty much that you do it for attention.
I feel like some people think that people with depression are just lazy, that they don't feel like getting out of bed, or, you know, and that's not right. It's not that they don't want to get out of bed, it's that they physically can't, because it's a physical and an emotional toll. How has anxiety/depression affected your life?
At one point in time, it affected my job. It's affected relationships, friendships, family.
I've quit jobs before because of my anxiety, because it's like, it's real. Like, you go to work and you're afraid that you're gonna have a panic attack in front of everybody, and it's one of the most, like, embarrassing things ever, because you're afraid that yourself is gonna come out, and it's very shameful. Yeah, and everyone's gonna see who you really are, and they're just gonna think that you're weird, and it sucks because that's who you are. How often do you have panic attacks? Well, she doesn't really have panic attacks, so this is more geared towards me. And I have panic attacks every day. They're like 1 to 10. They're usually really low and I can control them, but sometimes they get out of hand and I can't. Which do you think is worse, depression or anxiety? Can I answer this one first? Okay. I think that these two go hand in hand, so I don't think that there's a better or a worse. I think that they both equally suck. They feel different, they do, but they're both hand in hand, because sometimes depression causes anxiety and sometimes anxiety causes depression, because I've been on the end of both of those.
And I can agree with that, because it just depends on the person, because one person can have severe anxiety and minor depression. The other person can have major depression and minor anxiety.
Look, it's us! How did you overcome your anxiety/depression?
I've overcome it to a certain extent, because I'll always have it and just have good days and bad days or months, whatever. But I've overcome it with a little bit of support.
I still have anxiety. I'm always gonna have anxiety, and I used to take medicine for it, but I don't take medicine for it anymore because I'm stronger than yesterday, and now it's nothing but a mile away. What advice can you give to people who have these sort of issues?
You feel yourself becoming consumed with it, anxiety, depression, whatever your demon, talk to somebody. If it's a little at a time, just do it, because it may be where you end up in the hospital or worse. So.
That's very true. Yeah, I think that's basically like where I'm at. If you have an issue with yourself, and we are kind of hypocritical because we're not very open with our issues, but if it gets to the point where you're self-harming yourself, or there are a lot of people who take drugs, you need to talk to somebody. What is something that you have learned about yourself because of your issues?
I hold on to things very deeply, things that I should let go regardless if it's my fault or if it's just shit happens. I don't talk much, and I should.
You should. I've learned that even though I have this issue, I'm still a strong person. People still care about me, because when I was really young, I thought that I was the only person who had this issue. I thought I was weird and I couldn't discuss it with other people. I thought nobody would like me or love me. And now I'm just to the point where, you know, I know that other people have the issues. A lot of my friends, for example, you know, have the same issues, and it's just a matter of opening up. Chances are, if there's an issue that you're having in life, somebody else is having it. If you just talk to people about it, they're not going to judge you too harshly. Like, I thought everybody was going to hate me, but it turns out, like, everyone I know has depression or anxiety issues. Everyone. It's normal, which is terrible. Fuck. Welcome to the United States, man. What is the best and worst thing about your anxiety/depression?
It shows that I have feelings, and it shows that I care very deeply about things, and where I care enough to remember little things, big things, whatever. Worst thing is how it, like, consumes you. Anxiety, depression, everything.
Yeah. I think the best thing for me is that I've learned a lot about mental illness, and I've learned how to cope with it, because I experienced it first, and then along my life I've come in contact with a lot of people who have it, and instead of judging them harshly, I've accepted them a lot easier. The worst thing is just constantly living in fear of everything, even plants.
Is there a name for that?
Plantophobia. And last but not least, have you ever been treated for this?
Yes, I have been treated for depression since I was about 11 or 12. I feel like certain people need medicine, certain people just need therapy, certain people need all those things, and it's also a self thing. I, however, feel like it's a self thing, and to go to therapy, I go to, like, group therapy. I feel like, because it's easier for me to talk to a stranger than it is to talk to somebody that I know, because somebody I know I have a connection with, and I feel like it would break their heart if they knew what I was feeling, so I can tell a stranger that.
See, I'm the complete opposite, and I think that's why it's so good that we did this together, because you get a view of both worlds. Like, I don't like talking to people that I don't know. I've been recommended into therapy, and every time I go see my therapist, I just cry. I used to be on medicine, but it made me feel terrible, so I just, like, now I kind of self-help, I guess. I just find ways to get myself over it. She just wants to announce to the world what her anxiety is about. So you, hats are off.
I can't eat by myself if I'm out in public. I feel like everybody's watching me eat, and
I think that's weird. I don't like to do it.
I'm making a mess, and, like, depending on the store, like, if I go by myself, I can't go shopping. Like, I feel like all these thoughts are clouded in my head and I can't think. And then I also have another one where I can't shit in a public restroom.
Oh my god. I think we're good at this. We should be like therapists.
Mm-hmm.
So loft for you. Just kidding. I hate so loft.